Okay, so if you saw my last video, the Infinite Void Titan, I said I was going to do a Void Hunter build, and well...
I lied.
Okay, in all seriousness, that is my next video. I'm going to do 2 Void builds in one, but I really just wanted to get an Arc build out there for Hunter that I really like. And it has almost as much survivability as BONK Titan, and we all know how broken that is. So, what does this build do? This build allows you to have an infinite melee that does a crazy amount of damage, and it generates hundreds of orbs. And you can go invisible by doing melees and or finishers. On top of that, you also have infinite dodge, and with the orbs that you create from your melee, your grenade ability will recharge in a blink of an eye. So, what's the exotic that's making all this possible? The exotic helmet Assassin's Cowl. The exotic trait Vanishing Execution states, powered melee final blows grant invisibility and restore a portion of health and shields. Finishers and final blows against more powerful targets increase the duration of the invisibility and the amount of health you gain. The invisibility you get from just doing finishers and melees shoots your survivability through the roof alone. You're also going to be getting 2/3 of your health back by just getting a melee kill. So by just doing a melee and getting a final blow will 1. Give you invisibility, 2. Give you your health back, 3. Generate an orb, and lastly it just does a lot of damage. So you can just chain it and do it over and over again. But in order to get these infinite melees and dodges, let's take a look at the subclass. We're on the Arc Strider subclass using the Gathering Storm super. One big thing this has over BONK Titan is you have a damage super, which is very good. So the dodge and the melee ability are crucial to this build. The dodge that you're going to want is Gambler's Dodge. When you dodge near an enemy, it recharges your melee ability fully. And then Combination Blow, a quick strike that temporarily increases your melee damage when defeating a target, stacking up to 3 times, so you can get Combination Blow times 3, which does a crazy amount of damage. Defeating targets with this ability also fully refills your class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. So the dodge and the melee paired with Assassin's Cowl really makes everything come together. The Pulse Nade's got a 20% buff this season, so we really want to take advantage of this. Our first aspect is Lethal Current. After dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range, jolts the target, and increases a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jolted target with a melee also blinds them. I think you can put together how this fits into everything. And then Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified. While you're amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly, you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. Just like the Void Titan, everything fits together like a puzzle piece and is synergizing really well. For our fragments, we have Spark of Beacons. While you're amplified, your arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. And remember, it's only special weapon, it's not heavy or primary. So you know, something like Iterative Loop, something that I've been writing for a while because it's just so good. But again, it can be any arc special weapon. Spark of Resistance, while you're surrounded by combatants, you are more resilient to incoming damage. Spark of Shock, your arc grenades jolt targets. And that pairs really well with Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplified, so you're going to be amplified when you throw your grenade. And then Spark of Frequency, melee hits greatly increase reload speed. So for my exotic weapon recommendations, I only have 3, and they're all very good. You can't go wrong with one or the other. So first, we have the Arc Fusion Rifle Delicate Tomb, which came with Season 18, Season of the Plunder. This weapon's exotic perk, Trader's Vessel, states, fires a wide horizontal spread when shot from the hip. Final blows with this weapon have a chance to generate ionic traces. Powerful foes and opposing guardians always generate ionic traces. And its other trait, Tempest Cascade, collecting an ionic trace overcharges its weapon, so its next shot jolts targets. And it's a special weapon, so it also benefits from Spark of Beacons, which blinds people when you get a kill. The next weapon that also benefits from being a special, Cold Heart. This exotic trace rifle will keep you amplified 24/7. With its exotic perk Cold Fusion, the longer you hold down the trigger, the more damage it does, and while it's in its high damage state, it auto-generates ionic traces. And when you collect an ionic trace, it amplifies you. And the last weapon that I'm going to recommend is a gun that every meta cuck on Twitter loves to hate. Thunderlord. Now, is this gun good for boss damage? I mean, it's usable, but I mean, there's definitely way better things. This gun synergizes really well with Arc. It does AoE lightning strikes, and it has intrinsic overload. With this gun doing a lot of damage over time and barely having to reload, I just think it's a really good pair for this build. Also, if you have a gun with the Demolitionist or Pugilist perks, you can really lean on those as a crutch, and it will help you out a ton in your builds. But let's take a look at these mods, and then I'll do a complete overview and show you how it all comes together. This is where we're going to be generating all of our orbs, is from these mods. The helmet is nothing special, it's 1 heavy ammo finder and 2 arc siphon mods. So our arc weapons alone is just going to be generating a lot of orbs. For our arms, we have 1 firepower mod and 1 heavy-handed mod. These allow us to get an orb on grenade kill and an orb on melee kill. You don't even have to have your melee ability to start generating melee orbs. All you have to have is the buff Combination Blow. So every melee kill that you get it's gonna generate an orb no matter what. Impact induction. Causing damage with your melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown, because again, we're gonna be meleeing all the time. Generating orbs and reducing our grenade cooldown. Nothing special for our chest, we have charged up, emergency reinforcement, and harmonic reserves, which is arc reserves. For our boots, we have arc weapon surge to give our arc weapons a little bit of a boost, and 2 innovation mods. Reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb. And everything that we do, we're going to be generating orbs no matter what we do. You're going to have your grenade like 90% of the time, on top of always having your melee and always having your class ability. And then for our class item, 3 bomber mods. Reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Because we have infinite class ability, so why not have infinite grenade cooldown? So we're in the first encounter of Spire of the Watcher. I just wanted to do a little breakdown of how everything comes together in this build. So your melee can stack up to 3 times, but you just can't get 2 melee kills back to back because your combination blow won't stack. Instead, what you have to do is get a melee kill and then dodge. And then your next melee kill will jolt, because when you dodge, you gain the buff Lethal Current, and it will also stack your next buff of combination blow. Then you'll have combination blow times 2. And if you repeat the process of getting a melee kill and then dodging, and then getting another melee kill, you'll have combination blow times 3. And that's the most damage you can do with this melee. And it can even 1 or 2 shot yellow bars when you have it cranked up to combination blow times 3. And when you're doing all this, 1, you're going invisible because of Assassin's COWL, so that increases survivability. 2, you're making orbs for everybody with everything that you do. You throw a grenade, you make an orb. You get a melee kill, which you're going to be doing a lot of, you get an orb. You want to shoot something with your arc weapons? Boom, you make an orb. You're an invisible orb making factory that can nuke anything. But yeah, that's my arc hunter. My next build video is definitely going to be 2 void hunters. I'm probably going to do them both in one video, and they're both pretty like top tier builds. I don't expect most of you to make it this far into the video. I didn't expect my last video to do so well just because there was a big gap in uploads. But hey, if you made it this far, thank you. It really does mean a lot. Again, I never thought I would get like no less than 20 subscribers and like 50 views. To be doing this well is honestly shocking. So thank you again, and look out for the next one.